Every fall, Medicare announces next year's Part B premium and deductible. And for many retirees, that announcement directly affects their net Social Security income. In some years, the Part B premium barely moves. Other years, the cost increase eats up the entire increase in your Social Security income. But here's what most people never look at. Medicare already publishes projections going out 10 years. And when you compare past projections to what actually happened, they've been surprisingly close. Today, I'm going to show you what Medicare projected in 2023, and then what actually happened here in 2026, compare those numbers, and what the updated projection shows through 2034. I'm going to answer an important question. At the current projected pace, when could your Part B premium double from where it is today? I'll also explain who may be shielded from the rapid increases in those premiums and who is not. Because in retirement, unexpected cost shifts are as dangerous as market volatility. And by the end of this video, you'll know whether next fall's premiums announcement should surprise you or not. So let's look at the numbers. Back in 2023, Medicare estimated that the 2026 standard Part B premium would be around $196 a month. The deductible, they projected, would be roughly $274 a month. The actual 2026 numbers, well, $202.90 per month for the Medicare Part B premium, and the deductible is $283. Not exact, but close enough to use for planning. And here's the bigger question. If they were that close 3 years out, how reliable are they 8 years out? We'll get to the 2034 numbers in just a moment, but first we need to understand something critical. If you're retired or approaching retirement, your Part B premium is usually deducted directly from your Social Security benefit. So when premiums rise, your net Social Security check can change. And that's where something called the Hold Harmless rule comes into play. And this is one of the most misunderstood parts of Medicare. So let's slow this down a little bit. But when I show you the 2034 projections in just a moment, you'll see what you should be paying in both premium and deductible just 8 years from now. Now, the Hold Harmless provisions protect most Social Security recipients from seeing their net benefit check decrease because of an increase in Part B premiums. So let me say that differently. If your Social Security goes up because of a cost of living adjustment, and Medicare increases their Part B premiums more than that amount, your net check for Social Security generally cannot go down. The premium increase is limited, and that's the protection of the Hold Harmless, but it's easier to see with numbers. So let's say that your Social Security benefit is $2,000 per month, and there's a 2% cost of living adjustment. Well, that's a $40 increase. But now suppose that the Part B premium rises by $50. Without Hold Harmless, your net Social Security check would go down by $10. With the Hold Harmless, your premium increase is capped at $40. So your net check does not decrease. It's an important point. Your check doesn't meaningfully increase either, but it doesn't go backwards, and that's the protection. It sounds reassuring, and for many retirees it is, but here's the real question. Who is not protected by the Hold Harmless rule? Several groups are not protected. First, higher income beneficiaries who pay IRMAA. IRMAA stands for the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. That's for those who have higher than average earnings. If you pay IRMAA-related surcharges, Hold Harmless does not limit your increase. Second, new enrollees in Medicare Part B. So if you're just starting your Medicare, you're not protected in your first year. And third, individuals who do not have their premiums deducted from Social Security. Then fourth is, last but not least, there are individuals with very small Social Security benefits. Now, here's where it gets nuanced. If your Social Security increase is small, Hold Harmless protects you from a net decrease. So yes, you are protected for that year, but that protection is annual. It does not permanently freeze your premium. If future cost of living adjustments are larger for Social Security than they are for Medicare, then your premium can gradually move up towards the full standard amount. And sometimes it's actually abrupt. It depends on what the difference is between the increase in Social Security and the increase in Medicare. So Hold Harmless prevents your check from going backwards in a given year, but it doesn't eliminate Part B premium increases forever. Distinction really matters over time. So here's another example for you. So let's say someone is receiving a $600 per month Social Security income, and there's a 2% cost of living adjustment. Well, it's just $12. Now suppose the Medicare Part B premium increases by $20. Hold Harmless limits that year to an increase of $12, the amount of your Social Security. So their net check does not decrease, it stays the same. But here's what happens over time. If the Part B premiums continue to rise faster than the cost of living adjustments, the difference builds, and the gap between what you are paying and what you should pay increases. And that Hold Harmless protection delays the increase. It doesn't eliminate it forever. So when future cost of living adjustments are larger, that person can catch up to the full standard premium. So again, Hold Harmless prevents a decrease in your check, but it's not permanent. It's not a permanent freeze. It slows the increase. It doesn't erase them, and you don't have to pay back the difference in the past, but over many years that distinction becomes meaningful, and we've seen that already. And keep in mind, when some people are protected, the remaining increases shift to those who are not protected. Someone must pay the difference. So Medicare's Hold Harmless doesn't eliminate the increased cost, it redistributes them to those who are not protected. That's a long-term dynamic that many retirees never actually see. So if this kind of clear breakdown is helpful, take a second and like the video below, please. It helps people find this information, and it helps YouTube to spread this information to others just like yourself. And subscribe if you want updates when new projections and new videos are released. Now, because Medicare doesn't change randomly, it does change steadily, and staying ahead of the steady change matters in retirement. So now here's another important question. How does inflation impact the rest of your Medicare benefits? So original Medicare benefits don't shrink each year. The structure of what Medicare covers, original Medicare, remains intact. What changes are the premiums, the deductible, and any coinsurance amounts. And those are adjusted gradually over time. The Part B deductible increases, the premiums increase, the Part A deductible and Part A copays adjust. But the benefit design of original Medicare stays consistent, and that's important for planning because we're adjusting dollar amounts, not rewriting the coverage, and that, of course, can affect your long-term modeling. So that's where retirement strategy becomes proactive instead of reactive. Now, let's look at the projections through 2034. Notice the pattern. It's just a nice, steady increase, not dramatic spikes. That's not expected. Of course, it doesn't stay flat, just steady movements upward with projected inflation. And if the projections hold, the standard Part B premium in 2034 is expected to be approximately $347.50. The deductible should be at $486. Now, if you do the math, that's a 71% increase over what they are today. And that means that Medicare is expecting your cost to increase by almost 7% annually. At 7% annually, that means your premium is expected to double by the year 2036 or 2037. So let me reinforce this. That is your premium and your deductible will both are expected to double by that time. But these are projections, so they're not perfect. Could be plus or minus, but they're close enough to use for planning. They give you a framework. They allow you to estimate. You can estimate, of course, your net Social Security income, estimate your costs. IRMAA risks also adjust with inflation. And you can use this then to estimate your impact of your withdrawal needs. So when this fall's announcement comes out here, it should be probably October or November for 2027, since you already know these numbers, it really won't feel like a random shot. It's going to be more expected. It won't be a shock to you, and that alone, I think, is powerful. And also remember, these projections show the standard Part B premium. They do not include your income-related monthly adjustment amount, your IRMAA. And those IRMAA brackets are indexed annually for inflation using the CPI-U. And that means the threshold generally does rise over time, but your personal income strategy determines whether you cross them or not, which means Medicare planning connects directly to tax planning and income timing decisions. So here's the takeaway. Medicare projections are tools. Hold Harmless protects many, but not all. Premiums rise gradually, deductibles rise gradually, benefits stay structurally consistent, and understanding this removes one of the biggest fears in retirement, unexpected changes. If you want help applying these projections to your specific situation, and especially if you're concerned about your IRMAA or even your Social Security and how that's impacted by Medicare, reach out to our office. We provide free, personalized Medicare guidance. No cost, no pressure, just clarity. You don't have to navigate this alone. I'm Matthew Clausen with Medigap Seminars. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.